No cause view means it takes that there is no cause for something to happen. Anything can happen without a cause. So that is called no cause view. But if you deny the cause, you also deny the effect. So in reality, these three kinds of wrong view are the same. One denies the cause, the other denies the effect. So if you deny the effect, you deny the cause also. And the other is nihilistic view. That is, there is nothing. I mean, whatever you do will not constitute a karma. That is the second one, moral inefficacy of action view, and the nihilistic view. No cause, no doing, and then there is no results from the practice of giving. There is nothing like respect to the elders, respect to your parents, to your elders, and so on. So you don't have to pay respect to your elders or whatever, something like that. And there is no this world, there is no other world. There are no holy men who have practiced and then attain to the spiritual attainments and so on. And that kind of thing is called, I think, nihilistic view here. So if a person has one of these wrong views, or if he is a hermaphrodite, or if he is a eunuch, and he will not be able to attain jhana, the karma result, that is, who have had a rebirth linking with no profitable root cause or with only two profitable root causes. That means when a person takes a rebirth, there is a type of consciousness which arises. And with that type of consciousness, the roots also arise. The roots of good or the roots of evil. The roots of evil are attachment, hatred, and delusion. And the roots of good are the opposite of these three. Now, when a person takes a rebirth, his rebirth consciousness is not accompanied by any of these roots at all. Or they may be accompanied by 2 or 3 of the good roots. And there is no rebirth consciousness which is accompanied by any of the evil roots. So, if a person's rebirth consciousness is not accompanied by any of these roots, then he cannot attain jhana in that life. Or if his rebirth consciousness is accompanied by only 2 good roots, in that case too, he cannot attain jhana in that life. 2 roots means non-greed and non-hatred. That means without understanding or wisdom, jnana or panya. So our rebirth consciousness must be accompanied by panya in order for us to attain jhana in this life, jhana and also the enlightenment in this life. Otherwise, it is impossible for us to attain to jhana or the enlightenment. So this is called by karma result. And lack faith means a destitute of faith in the Buddha, the Dhamma, Sangha, maybe in the practice also. Lack of zeal, destitute of zeal for the unopposed way, and lack of understanding, that destitute of mundane and supramundane right view. Right view means understanding of karma and its results. This is called right view. And then will be incapable of entering into the certainty or rightness in profitable state, means that they are incapable of entering into the noble path, called certainty and rightness in profitable state. That just simply means incapable of enlightenment, incapable of attaining jhanas. And this does not apply only to Kasinas, for none of them will succeed in developing any meditation subject at all. So the task of devotion to a meditation subject must be undertaken by a clansman who has no hindrance by karma result, who shuns hindrance by karma and by defilements, and who fosters faith, see, and understanding by listening to the Dhamma, frequenting good men, and so on. So in order to practice successfully, then we should be free from these defects. This is the 5th chapter. The next chapter is an unpleasant chapter. Because it is chapter on what is loathsome or what is foul about a dead body, and also applying the state of dead body to our living body. And this is the foulness of the body meditation or loathsomeness of the body meditation. Most people are, I think maybe in the West, most people are afraid of this meditation. A man asked me, do I have to tell my wife that I imagine her to be festering or something like that when I go back home? He asked, if you practice this kind of meditation, then you have to do it. Whether you tell your wife this, that's another matter. You may or may not do so. But if you're going to be practicing this, then you have to see not only your wife, anybody, including yourself, say, as loathsome, as filth, as foul or whatever. So if you don't like it, you don't practice it. It's okay. But it is very powerful and effective in removing attachment to bodies, to self, because once you see the various conditions of a dead body, you become less interested in your body or in the body of any other person. Just today I was talking with a monk in LA, and he said he lived in villages for some time, so sometimes he had the chance to cremate a dead person, sometimes a dead monk. And he said after doing this for 2 or 3 times, he got disgusted of his body too.
This type of meditation is particularly useful and recommended for people who are particularly strong with greed.
Yes, and attachment to one's body.
And it's discouraged with people who have a lot of anger or hatred.
No, especially discouraged. Not so bad. It is recommended for those who have strong attachment to their bodies, to their lives. We will come to it later. So these, you may have read all these, and so you know what these meditation, subjects of meditation are. Actually, these are the different stages of, decomposition. Different stages of decomposition in a corpse. The first, after about 2 or 3 days, it becomes bloated, and then it deteriorated, and then it comes to the stage of the livid one, then the festering, then the cut up, and so on. The first one I want to there's something about the first one, the bloated. It is bloated because bloated by gradual dilation and swelling after. Odam means above or after. The close of life, as a bellows is with wind. What is bloated is the same as the bloated. Do you understand that? What is bloated is the same as the bloated. But please look at the Pali words. The first one is Uddumata, right? And the second one is Uddumataka. So the ka is added to the word. What the commentary wants us to understand is that ka denotes a disgust. So if you say Uddumata, it is festering. But when you say Uddumataka, it is festering body which is disgusting, something like that. So the particle ka is added to show that it is disgusting. That is what we should understand. But it is very difficult to convey this meaning in a translation. You have to have a footnote and then say about it. So all the 10 kinds of meditations of the ka at the end of this, Uddumataka, and the second one is Vinilaka, and the third one is Vipupaka, and so on. And then, in order to practice this, you have to do a lot of preparation. And then everything is explained in detail in this book. For example, you are not to go to the corpse as soon as you hear that, oh, there is a corpse in such and such a place. You are not to go there directly. And it is said that sometimes there may be wild animal around the corpse, or there may be some ghosts around the corpse, and then your life may be in danger. So you must not go directly to the place, but you have to study the road to and from it, and then things on the road, everything is to be noticed. Say there is a stone rock here, and this road goes here, bends towards the left, or at another place it goes to the right, and so on. So you have to take note of everything on the way to the place and then back to the place. Because this meditation is very frightening meditation. And you have to go alone. It's said 2 or 3 times in this book. No companion. So you have to do it alone. And sometimes when you are alone, you are frightened. And even the drop of a dead branch will make you frightened. Maybe it's a ghost or something. So you have to be very careful. And then you have to inform at least the head of the monastery where you live that you are going there. And that is because sometimes cemeteries are not like here. In this country there are beautiful places. But cemeteries are places where some thieves or robbers frequent, because it's a place not many people go to. And so it's secluded for them. And then they may go to that place, and followed by some people, they may drop the things they have robbed near the monk. And then those who follow them might see their property close to a monk, and they may take the monk to be a robber, to be a thief. And so in that case, if he had informed the head monk of the monastery, then he could explain to the people. So you have to do a lot of preparation if you want to practice this kind of meditation, which is impossible even in our countries nowadays, because dead bodies are not left not left on the ground. They are either cremated or buried. So it is almost impossible to see a corpse, bloated corpse or whatever. But let us say it is possible. So then you have to make these preparations, and then when you go and sit, and you are not to sit too close to the corpse or too far away from the corpse, and you are sit not downwind. You must sit upwind, because if you sit downwind, you will be offended by the smell. So there are many things in detail you have to take care of before you go and practice.
Did you have the opportunity to do that?
No. It's a very frightening meditation, and not many people would do this. You have to have some kind of courage. And one thing in our countries is that parents used to or try to scare their children by saying, oh, there's a ghost here, or there's a ghost there. And so we are afraid of ghosts. And even though we have grown up, there is some residue of it in our minds. So we cannot shake it altogether from ourselves. Not people like people in this country. People in this country are not afraid of ghosts. They may even talk with ghosts, or they may even adopt ghosts, something like that.
Some people.
But one thing is, no, when you are invited to a funeral service, when monks are, then you have to go to a cemetery, and cemetery is not a place like here. So it is frightening, dirty, and then smelly. And sometimes what happens is, they don't have embalming or whatever, and most people don't have that. So when the corpse was carried to the cemetery, it may have decomposed, and the smell. So I had that experience. Once I was invited, and I went to the cemetery, and then the body was put in front of me, about 1.5 feet from me, and then the smell, and then dripping, impurities dripping. So, and there's always not good smell at the cemetery. There are monks who live very close to or in the cemetery. They build a small huts of kutis and live there and practice this kind of meditation. So here he said, with no companion, and then the body the body should be of the opposite, not of the opposite sex. That is mentioned here 2 or 3 times. A man must look at the corpse of a man, and a woman must look at the corpse of a woman, because even a dead body can cause some mental excitement if it is not that long enough, not yet decomposed. So some people may have thoughts of lust even looking at a corpse. So it is not recommended for a monk to look at the corpse of a woman. And the skeleton, the last one is a skeleton. So you can practice looking at the whole skeleton, or you can practice looking at only one bone, and then think of the whole body as bone. And then, on page 200, paragraph 85, and individually the bloated suits one who is greedy about shape, since it makes evident the disfigurement of the body's shape. The livid suits one who is greedy about the body's color, since it makes evident the disfigurement of the skin's color. The festering suits one who is greedy about the smell of the body aroused by scents, perfumes, etc., since it makes evident the evil smells connected with this soul, the body. The cut up suits one who is greedy about compactness in the body, since it makes evident the hollowness inside it. The knot suits one who is greedy about accumulation of flesh in such parts of the body as the breath, since it makes it evident how a fine accumulation of flesh comes to nothing. The scattered suits one who is greedy about the grace of the limbs, since it makes it evident how limbs can be scattered. The hacked and scattered suits one who is greedy about the fine body as a whole, since it makes evident the disintegration and alteration of the body as a whole. The bleeding suits one who is greedy about elegance produced by ornaments, since it makes evident its repulsiveness when smeared with blood. The worm-infested suits one who is greedy about ownership of the body, since it makes it evident how the body is shared with many families of forms. A skeleton suits one who is greedy about fine teeth, since it makes evident the repulsiveness of the folds of the body. This, it should be understood, is how the classification of foulness comes to be tenfold according to the subdivisions of the greedy temperament. Now, when a person practices this foulness meditation, either one of them, he can get only first jhana, not the other jhanas. And it is explained here with this simile. But as regards the tenfold foulness, just as it is only by virtue of its rada, I don't think it is rada. Rada means what? What is rada?
Steering.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean rada in Burmese. The Pali word is the pole. We use pole to push the boat, and it is a strong string. So only by virtue of the poles that a boat keeps steady in a river with turbulent waters and a rapid current, and it cannot be steadied without a pole. So too here, owing to the weak hold on the object, consciousness, when unified, only keeps steady by virtue of vitakka, applied thought, and it cannot be steadied without applied thought, which is why there is only the first jhana here, not the second and the rest. So you can get only first jhana if you practice foulness of the body meditation, because you need vitakka, initial application of mind, for your mind to be on the object, because the object is coarse or gross, and so you need this vitakka to keep your mind there. And vitakka is present only in the first jhana. It is not with second or third jhana and so on. So you can get only first jhana by this kind of meditation. And further down, paragraph 88 about 4 or 5. I'll read all of the paragraph. This foulness, 5 of 10 kinds, has only one characteristic. Although it is of 10 kinds, nevertheless, its characteristic is only its impure, stinking, disgusting, and repulsive state. And foulness appears with this characteristic not only in a dead body, but also in a living one. That is the point here. As it did to Elder Mahatesa, who lived in Jediyapabra and to the novice attendant on the Elder Sankaraketa while he was watching the king riding an elephant. For a living body is just as foul as a dead one. Only the characteristic of foulness is not evident in the living body, being hidden by adventitious embellishment. So we wash ourselves, we clean ourselves every day, and say we will use cosmetics, perfumes, and so on. So the characteristic of foulness is not evident in a living person or living body. When it is dead, then all the characteristic of foulness becomes evident. So this can be practiced. If you want to attain jhana through this practice, then you have to really go to a cemetery and look at the corpse and practice meditation on it. But if you want to practice just as a mindfulness of body meditation, then you don't have to go to a cemetery. But you imagine in your mind a corpse, and then apply the nature of that corpse to your own body. Just as this body is bloated and so on, my body also will not escape this state. So you apply the nature of the dead body to your living body. That way you can practice satipatthana, mindfulness meditation. In that case, you don't have to look for a corpse or whatever. But if you want to practice so that you get jhana through this meditation, then you have to find a corpse or something, which is almost impossible in this country. But if you go to some medical college, or you may be able to see corpses there. But outsiders will not allow there. If you are a special guest, they may let you see the corpses. Otherwise, they won't let you see. So it is almost impossible nowadays, even in our countries, to practice this kind of meditation.
You will only see the first stage view of the formula. You won't see the
Yeah, it is against the God.
But we can see this in animals. We can see these stages in animals.
Even that is not
so common.
Not common, because health officials won't let you let the corpse be in that state. But one thing is, if that won't be easy. We can take pictures of the corpses, but even it's difficult to take pictures. You can look at the picture and develop meditation. So this is a foulness of the body meditation. And in our country, when a person dies and they send out invitation, it is said in the invitation that please come to, say, such and such a place to practice Asubha meditation. They are not invited to come to a funeral service, or what do you call that? To go to a burial place with the dead body. But they are invited to practice foulness of body meditation along with us, something like that. So I went to LA this time to perform a funeral ceremony and a funeral service. One of my devotees died very lately. So I told people that you are invited here, not to come and just look at poor lady or whatever, but you are to look at her and then practice meditation, the foulness meditation and the other kind of meditation which we will go to later, the recollection of death. So at least these two kinds of meditation that people should practice when they go to a funeral. So this is the Buddhist way of attending a funeral service. So we don't say we are assembled here to pay the last respects to the person or something, but we come here to practice this meditation and also to apply the nature of this person to ourselves, and thus to reduce attachment to ourselves. And then one other thing is to share merit with the dead person. So that is the purpose when people go to a funeral service actually. But most people actually don't know what to do and why they are invited. They just go there and sit for some time and then go back. So I told them that in order to be the real followers of the Buddha, And we ought to do this. And you come here and ought to do this type of meditation on yourself and then share merits with that person.
What do you mean by share merit?
That means I share my merits with you. You tell that person with the understanding that he may be somewhere around as a ghost or as a lower celestial being.
So is it like a blessing? What do you mean?
No, not blessing. Can we call it a blessing? No. But helping that person in his life, in his let's say present life. A person can be reborn as any being according to the teachings of the Buddha. Although a person may be a very good man of whole life, but if he had some bad thoughts at the moment of death, then he could be reborn in a lower world. So those who are reborn as ghosts, hungry ghosts, and also who are reborn as lower celestial beings can be helped by those from this life. That is the basis of the funeral services in Theravada Buddhism. So when we share merits with that person, and that person rejoices at the merit, then he gets merit himself by rejoicing. And that merit of his actually helps him in his life. Not the merit of the people here directly giving him results. Because the teaching in the Buddhism is you have to do it yourself to get results. Nobody can give you any results or whatever.
But the act of other people sharing and you accepting that and sharing back, it changes your consciousness of it.
That is the merit he has. But the merit here, and the merit of those who share, becomes a basis for merit for those who accept. So it is important that going to a funeral or whatever we practice, at least fullness of the body meditation, and then recollection on that, reflection on that. Okay, thank you. Next time, how many pages? Yes.
Is there a space until then Mr. starts again?
Oh no, we're going to continue to do it, but there's not an in-between to this class. We're going to continue to the beginning of June. And then we'll take a little bit of break and probably we'll keep going after that. But there's no break until June.
So about 20 pages. Up to 221.
The next chapter is on the 6 recollections and up to page 221, where the moon disk, is that the cutoff point? Begins on page 204.
Let's see, paragraph 45.
Paragraph 45. And it's at the middle of 221.
Yes.